to read through Acts 5:12 through 16. I'm just going to pray over the passage and then we'll start talking about it. Dear God, thank you so much that we could all be here tonight, and just thank you for your word. Please Lord bless it and let your Holy Spirit just abandon us and abandon our conversation tonight, God. Please Lord guide our discussion, and just thank you for being here with us. In your name we pray. Amen. Okay. So, just at first glance, did anything stick out to you guys about the passage? Any questions right off the bat?
Well, I thought it was interesting how no one dared to join them, but everyone was like, oh, I believe in what they're saying, I believe in what they're doing.
Yeah,
Kind of deal.
that was, why do you think that was? I thought that was interesting too.
Maybe because the people were like scared to like be persecuted like the apostles were, but at the same time they believed in like the power of Jesus, even though they didn't want to like totally be persecuted for that.
Yeah, definitely. I think I agree with that. Sometimes I think that kind of happens today too. Like people admire the Christian lifestyle, but they don't want to join in.
Yeah.
What other reasons do you think they may not have wanted to join them? When I was thinking about that, this where it says that they meet together in Solomon's colonnade, I thought, well, what is that? Does anyone know what Solomon's colonnade was? When I looked it up online today, it said that on my Bible it says Solomon's Portico, so it's like a big front porch kind of, but like not quite. Anyway, so it's like a fancy big front porch named after Solomon, and it ran along the eastern wall in the court of the Gentiles with Herod's temple, and so it like divided the area between the Gentiles and the temples where the Jews worship. And there were warning signs against foreigners on the very that separated the court. Okay, that separated the court of the Gentiles from other courts in the temple. So, Gentiles being foreigners to the Jewish law, like there were warning signs like keeping them out, or at least not encouraging them to come. So, I think that's probably one of the main reasons that they stayed out. But like Caitlin said, even though people didn't want to join them, there were still abounding like believers, just a multitude of believers were coming to the faith. So I thought that it was interesting that it says no one else dared join them, even though they were highly regarded by the people. Nevertheless, more and more men and women believed in the Lord and were added to their number. As a result, people brought the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and mats so that at least Peter's shadow might fall on some of them as he passed by. I thought that it was interesting that while they were on this colonnade or this portico, like while they were isolated from all the people, no one dared join them, even though they knew what they were about. But when they went out into the streets, there were obviously people there who were hungry for Jesus, who needed to be healed, and who were coming to the faith. So for me, I thought that the Solomon's colonnade or portico, it kind of represented like your comfort zone. Like as long as I'm in my comfort zone with my church friends or my Christian friends, maybe I'm not making a difference to other people, and maybe I'm not bringing them to Jesus. But when I get off of that, and when I go into the streets, people are ready and they're wanting, to know about God. So I have a few questions. Like, do you have a portico in your life? Do you have something that keeps you from going out into the faith to talk to other people? It's really easy for me to talk to like my best Christian friends about Jesus and have godly discussions, but I think it's a lot harder when I'm sitting in class and like just having a random conversation.
So it's hard to know like how to bring it up. Like,
Yeah.
so how was your weekend? We heard about Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, like is that random? Is that cool with them? Do they think that's Are they gonna be weird? Like,
Plus, I think it's a lot harder, like, knowing that some of your friends are, like, of other faiths, too. I mean, like,
right,
'cause sometimes you don't know, and then other times it's you do know, and they believe differently.
right, like, for me it's like you don't wanna offend them, but at the same time, like, you really feel this need to tell them the truth about Jesus Christ, so.
And plus, like, today there's so much emphasis on, like, be accepting of everyone, you know, like, don't force your religion on other people, don't tell them that their religion is wrong. So, like, even if, like, you know that Jesus is your savior, it's like a lot of society is like, no, that's not right. Be free and open to other people's ideas, which is kind of the opposite of what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Sometimes for me too, for people of different religions, like I don't even want to approach them until I know, well, I feel like I know everything about their religion and their faith. Like I feel like I'm inadequate and like I can't, like whatever I say is going to be wrong because I don't necessarily know all that they believe. Does that
Right.
make sense? Like, yeah.
And not only that, like, as a sophomore, I think it's easy to say, I have my friends, I don't need to go find new friends. But when I think about, maybe I look for my cell phone and I think about the people I hang out with, it's mostly Christians. So, like, it's really, for me, it's like, I need to make this effort to go out and have circles of non-Christian friends. And not make them projects, you know, because you don't want to do that. You don't want to have, you don't want to love someone with an agenda, you know, but just to be their friend and to cherish that relationship is important. Did anything else stick out to you in these first 4 verses?
I thought it was really interesting how it said like that they had to see people out in the streets so that maybe like Peter's shadow would fall on them. I don't know. I just like that really struck me. Like I was kind of surprised by that. I think because I didn't think of him as like a revered figure. I guess.
Right.
So that really struck me.
We see that all the time in the Bible. Like, God just uses these people that we read and we say, man, that guy's messed up. Or, you know, wow, look at all the mistakes that Peter's made. Or, you know, how many times has Jesus rebuked him in the past, or things like that. And yet, there he is, just walking by. And it's like the power of Jesus shining on people. So, yeah, I mean that. I read that too, and that kind of brought hope for me. Like, if Peter's shadow is healing people in the name of Jesus, then, you know, what can he do for the rest of us?
Well, we talked about that too a couple of chapters ago. I was trying to find it. Oh, in chapter 4, verse 13, when it says, "Now, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were uneducated, common men, they were astonished." So, like, just going back to the fact that, like, we already know they're, quote, common. But again, we see, like, the power of someone who is viewed as common, but, like, how God uses them still, and, like, how powerful they can be even though they are common when they trust that God is, like, working through them. And
Right, they're just doing crazy stuff around Jerusalem and all over the place. And I feel like it was just their experience with Jesus, and they had this extreme faith that, you know, if he sent them out, that he was going to do great things through them. And we've seen even when they've gotten, like, thrown in jail and had, you know, things with the Pharisees or whatnot, like, God is always giving them the word, and they're just speaking and doing miracles and signs and wonders, and as a result, like, so many people are coming to faith. So